Welcome one and all to OmniFoot TV once again. As of now, we are in a very critical 48-hour period in the history of the beautiful game. Before I go from being a fan to a reporter, let me be a fan. When I started watching football as a kid, I was extremely curious as to what was going on in the game. I was extremely excited with what I was seeing, watching the players move with and without the ball, understanding what it meant to play for a certain team, understanding what this team's history was or what this team's history was, learning about what standards these clubs held, watching winners change, teams fall to lower leagues and then come back up. The idea of competition was what allowed me to fall in love with football. I think that this situation that we are in is a very difficult one because it could spell the end for a lot of our favorite clubs. This announcement has already sparked the ire of fans all over the world. This competition is based on entitlement. All of these clubs think that they are entitled to take a position and to earn a huge sum of money simply because they're the top clubs in the land, so to speak. Arsenal and Tottenham aren't even consistent competitors in the UEFA Champions League, and yet they think they can take part in the Super League. Any of these clubs, all of these clubs are not exempt from my criticism. All of these clubs, all of these big clubs, no matter their current position in the league, no matter their current status in either of UEFA's prime competitions, all of these clubs are standard setters. Every single one of them. In England, you look at Liverpool, you look at Manchester United, you look at managers like Bill Shankly and Sir Alex Ferguson. Had they agreed to such a thing? Had it happened in their time? And look at the current state of affairs. Jose Mourinho was just sacked as Tottenham manager, and reports are flying around, mind you, that he was sacked because he refused to take over Tottenham in training because of the Super League announcement. And there are rumors flying around that Jurgen Klopp, Thomas Tuchel, and Mikel Arteta are set to resign from their posts as managers later today. Honestly, they've given me something to think about. I would much rather they resign. I would much rather every manager of any of these clubs resign. None of these managers, if they truly love the beautiful game, as they do, none of these managers should continue managing either of these clubs. They should all resign immediately. If these clubs don't take a stand and completely remove themselves from this competition, none of these managers should remain in their posts. And the consequences as of now have been that these clubs will be removed from domestic and European competitions. They will be removed from their leagues. They will be removed from their leagues. Imagine the Premier League next season with 6 promoted sides from the Championship and the likes of Man City, United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool and Spurs in the 5th tier of English football. And the same would go for Atletico, Barcelona and Real Madrid in La Liga. Now last night, these teams still moved on with the choice to announce their participation in this ESL, despite the fact that UEFA, their national governing bodies, the FAs, and their leagues, and even FIFA condemned the ESL. They still chose to announce that they were participating. Like I said at the start of this video, we are in a very critical 48-hour period. And if it takes me seeing my favorite club being relegated to the 5th tier of English football because they chose to participate in this league, then so be it. Mind you, if all of these clubs were to be removed from domestic and European competition, all of these competitions would become a lot more exciting. We'd have new winners. We'd get to see a level of competition we haven't seen since the 70s and 80s. The gaps in the transfer market are already huge. And here's the thing, people think that this only happens in Europe. They don't think about the effects, the financial ripple effects that take place in all of the other leagues across world football. And this makes it even worse. If you are a fan, if you love the beautiful game, do not support the ESL. I am making this video specifically out of rage. I needed something to talk about, and this came along. If this goes on, this will be the end of the beautiful game as we know it. It's sad enough that clubs spend 220 million on players. This kind of money could keep small clubs afloat. It could build stadiums. It could put together an entire club, if not 2 or 3. Football would not be where it is now if not for grassroots football. If not for these clubs, the sport would not be where it is today. The sport would have never moved forward. It would have never evolved. And it's sad enough that we have such a gaping hole in between all of these clubs and that the larger clubs are not helping the situation. The ESL now has a board of directors. They have a chairman. They've ironed out sponsorship deals. They've ironed out broadcasting rights. They know how much money they're going to make from this. Everything has been settled. Everything has been agreed upon. This competition is happening. If this competition does happen, then I will only look to the positives. And the positives will be that all these clubs will be removed from domestic and European competition, as they should be. If this Super League is the peak at which things start to fall, then I will welcome its consequences. I'm going to stop the video here, and I'd like to thank you all for watching. All we can do for now, as of right now, is hope that wherever football goes from this point onwards, it goes for the betterment of the sport. Please do me the favor of subscribing to the channel if you have not, and I will see you next time the whistle blows.